Welcome to Vegan Style Life. I'm James Lucas from Grape Cat. We sell high quality vegan and eco-friendly clothing and accessories made without cruelty.
And I am Ellen Champion of Champion Relationship Coaching, and I help people with their relationships of all kinds, including one with themselves. And I also have a 3-month program that helps people find the right partner instead of always ending up with the wrong one. So you said you've been to a lot of restaurants.
I was writing my list and I have been to a ton of restaurants.
Are you doing all of them now?
I have to because
Okay.
I'm going to Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and so I have to do them now because otherwise I'll forget. So I was in Connecticut 2 weeks ago at the Compassion Fest, which is a outdoor festival in Hamden, Connecticut. And so a friend of mine came and helped me at the tent and stood in line for like an hour to get me chili cheese fries and a burger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's G-Zen has a restaurant in Connecticut, but they also have a food truck that they brought out for the festival. So I had that for lunch, and I bought 3 Girls Vegan Creamery cheese. They make their own different kinds of cheeses, and I had for $12 they have a 3-pack that you can buy, and that's what I bought. One was pepper, one was it had cranberries and pistachios, and then the other one had some other nuts on it. They're both delicious. And then the next day I was in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and it was a really busy event. There's 3,000 people that showed up, but they had to turn away 700 people.
Wow, that's great. I mean, not that
they turned people away, but yeah, it was so packed
so many
that
people came.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
So that was busy. And there I went to Freakin' Vegans and had their buffalo mac and cheese.
Did you say freaking?
Freakin' Vegans, yeah.
Okay.
That's their name. They're amazing. So I had their buffalo mac and cheese, but the event was so busy that I bought it at 10 in the morning and I didn't finish it until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad that. Well, was it good laying around?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still good.
Yeah, the buffalo, because what it is, it's their mac and cheese with their buffalo seitan on top. Mm-hmm. So just mixing it together, it was fine cold or hot.
Okay, good. Well, I don't know how cold it was. It was pretty hot.
It was warm. It was room
Right.
temperature. And then last Friday I went to Philadelphia and I ate at Cedar Point. They have my favorite veggie wings there.
Oh, I haven't been to Cedar Point. That's another vegan?
It's not a vegan. It's
Okay.
not. They have vegan options on their menu.
I see.
And that's served with fried Brussels sprouts, and you can either get them barbecued or buffalo. So they ask you if you want them barbecue or hot, and if you like buffalo, then which is my next to donuts, it's donuts buffalo. So if I could invent a buffalo donut, it would be perfect. But
we are so different.
I know,
when
very
it comes
different.
To food
yeah.
and beaches.
So I got the buffalo veggie wings, and they're pretty hot. So I knew that my wife Chris, it would be too hot. So I got her the barbecue.
You mean spicy?
Spicy, yes, spicy hot.
Just clarify.
Yeah, and so I got her the barbecue, and the barbecue's equally delicious.
Mm.
And then afterwards for dessert, we went to Little Baby's Ice Cream in Philadelphia, and they have a dairy section of ice cream, which is, of course, for some reason is 3 times as long as the non-dairy, but they do have 3 non-dairy flavors. And I got their chocolate salted malt ice cream, which was delicious. But they also had a blueberry lemonade, which was really good, and another flavor. So, and they're coconut based. So if you don't like the flavor of coconut, then it's really strong. Like in the chocolate, I could really taste the coconut. I'm like, oh, this is a coconut compared to like nut.
Yeah.
And then
So wait, I want to just get it in my head. So the first place you went to was?
In Connecticut.
In Connecticut. Was that totally a vegan restaurant, or was
Yeah,
that...
G-Zen's a totally
Okay.
vegan restaurant. It's on the par with Sprig and Vine or Veg
Okay,
or
very
B
nice.
Street. So it's a very
nice.
high-end restaurant.
Okay. And what town was that in?
G-Zen's in Connecticut. I'll post where the actual
Okay.
city is, but it's in Connecticut. It's close to Hamden, Connecticut.
Okay.
Then Sunday, I was in Morristown for the vegan shop up put on by the New Jersey Veg Fest, and we just pretty much ate our way through it because Peaceful Provisions was there with their donuts. All they had donuts, and then they had some brownies. So started there, and they had something they called the Everything Bacon Donut. And it's got
The Everything Bacon donut.
Yeah, so it's
It was a dessert?
they called it a savory donut.
Okay.
So it had sesame seeds on top, and then inside it had the I think it had tempeh bacon kind of mixed into the cream, so it was more of a smoky flavor inside, and then it had the sesame seeds on top.
So basically it was just in a shape of a donut, but it really wasn't.
No, it was really like a donut, but then it was filled with a smoky cream, so it kind of had that savory taste to it.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was. I probably need another one to like actually figure out what it was. And then
He's just looking for
any excuse to
eat it
try
again.
donuts. Yeah, well, they're my favorite donuts. They're amazing. The food they make there. And then we also had the strawberry peace tart, which was delicious, and an almond donut that was really good too.
Sounds great.
And so, I even forgot about Screaming Pizza. Screaming Pizza, I forgot.
That's the name of a restaurant?
Yeah, it's Screamers. It's Screamers Pizza. And it's what they call it is a baby from Blackbird Pizza in Philadelphia and Champ's Diner in Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
I guess they
I love
came
Champ's.
together and made another pizza place in Brooklyn.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
So you can find Blackbird Seitan on their pizzas, and I had a buffalo pizza, of course, and then Chris had.
There wasn't any donuts on it?
Can
you get a donut pizza?
Trust me, I would figure it out.
He loves his donuts.
And then Chris had what they called a chicken parm pizza, which was really good.
I think pizza places should have, if you are mostly raw. I mean, you would never tell by my by my restaurant reviews, but basically I'm mostly a raw vegan. And in Raw Vegans, they have, raw vegan pizza, but they also have raw vegan dessert pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that pizzerias have not created a dessert pizza.
I think some do.
You could create it.
I'm not creating. I'm not getting into the food
you could
business.
Have donuts all over it.
A vegan donut pizza.
With Oreos.
With Oreos. And we were there early. We got there at 10, and it's a 10 to 6. So we were there, or noon to 6 event. So we were there early, and we hadn't eaten. So that's why I had donuts and pizza at noon. And then by the time, then we went back to Freaking Vegans and got a chickpea salad sandwich. They had chickpea salad sliders that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that, and then by the time 5 o'clock rolled around, I was starving again. So I went to Green Moustache and got their barbecued seitan.
Wait, what's Green Moustache?
And
where?
It's all of this is in Morristown. So
Okay.
I don't know where they're from, but I'll figure that out.
Green Moustache. That's
Green
a fun
Moustache,
name.
yeah. So they had barbecued seitan and potato salad, which was amazing. And then next to us was Chocolate Calling, and they have this chocolate crunch bar. So it's got puffed quinoa in it, and it's 66% organic chocolate, and it's delicious. So it tastes like a crunch bar.
Wow, that sounds great.
And then Tamerlaine Farms is there, and to support their animal rescue, they make food products. So they made this Bob and Andy's barbecue sauce, and all of their products are named. No, that's not true. Not all of their products. Most of their products are named after animals at the farm. So this has a picture of a rooster and a chicken on it. And so this is one of the best barbecue sauces I've had. And then we also got this spicy ranch flavoring for our popcorn. So you just put it on top. Like you can put it on top of whatever you want, but it says for popcorn, and it's amazing. It tastes like ranch dressing in a powdered form.
But it's spicy.
It's not really that spicy. I don't know why they called it spicy.
Because you just said that she doesn't like spicy. Chris.
Yeah, it's not that. I guess
Yeah.
there's pepper in it, but there's no. It's nutritional yeast, organic dill, organic chives, organic garlic, organic onion, organic pepper, sea salt, organic citric acid, organic mustard, and organic sugar.
Oh, so mustard and the pepper, basically.
Yeah, so it's not really. It's not. There's no.
I have to smell it.
Chili. There's no chili or anything in it, so I don't know why they really call it spicy. See, it's not that spicy.
Wow, it smells so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Wow. I'm afraid because honestly, I cannot take spice. I just
Yeah.
can't.
I know you don't like spice.
But I usually put nutritional yeast on mine. But this, I might have to get that. That really looks good.
Yeah,
it smells delicious.
Yeah, so this was really good, and they had other flavors too. I forgot what.
And can I see the other one?
Yeah. Here's the
Wow,
part.
this is very cool. I don't see any ingredients.
That's right there.
It is?
Isn't that the ingredients?
No.
Oh. Tomato sauce, brown sugar, molasses, alder smoked salt, garlic, onion, pepper, ginger, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, and liquid smoke.
Okay, so it's all cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not
all fresh, so
it's all
there's
things that we could actually pronounce.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you don't
That's
have to
what
get
I'm
on animalproducts.com and try to figure out what what's in there. It's all in English.
Okay, great.
And so
nice.
no, that was it, and it was busy. And like I said, I'm off to Pittsburgh and Buffalo, so I'll have more in a couple weeks.
Yeah, terrific. Okay, so I was in New York City last weekend. Well, I guess it was the weekend before, maybe. Anyway, I was with my husband and our daughter and her daughter by marriage and her fiance. And we went to Caravan of Dreams in New York City, Manhattan. And I've been there before. It's really great.
It's awesome.
It's really, I mean, every time I go there, and we went there for lunch and for dinner. I only wrote down the stuff for dinner because honestly, I forgot my lunch stuff. Actually, it was the dinner. I wrote down the lunch stuff, not the dinner. The dinner was the night before. Anyway, so what I had was rosemary shiitake burger. And what was on the menu, it says tomato grilled, besides the rosemary shiitake burger, tomato grilled onions, tarragon alioli, olive ciabatta, and house-made pickle. And the waiter was very funny. He warned me that it is not easy to eat because it's so big.
Was it big?
You'll see it in the pictures. When we post the pictures, you'll see. But, it's probably like this. So I just, ate that and then ate the top. And,
you just squish it together.
Oh, no, you couldn't because everything would just explode. You couldn't do that. But it was so amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, if I wasn't full, I would have had another one. I really cannot wait to go back to have that.
Yeah, that place is great.
That was amazing. Rosemary shiitake. I'm gonna have to see if I could find a recipe or something. That was really incredible. It was for $14.50. Just to give you some ideas of prices there. People do get concerned when you hear New York City. So my husband David had tempeh Reuben. We always seem to love tempeh Reubens, and he enjoyed it. According to the the description, it says grilled onions, Russian dressing, tomato, rye toast, house sauerkraut, and house pickle. Of course that's besides the tempeh and the bread. Well, the bread is the olive ciabatta, I guess. And he enjoyed it, but he keeps on telling me that honestly he loves my tempeh Reuben sandwich better than anyone that he has ever gone to a restaurant and have, but he keeps on ordering it anyway, so he must enjoy it more than he realizes.
He's just looking for one that's better than
That's
yours.
what it is. He loves mine. It is good. And that was also that was $13.50. Our daughter had Cuban Delight. I could not find that on the website to write down everything, and I didn't do it at the restaurant. It must have been a special, but she loved it. I didn't have it because she likes more spicy stuff, and I don't, so I didn't try it. But it looked fantastic. There's a picture I have, and she loved it. And Jubin, her fiance, had a caravan burrito, seitan, black beans, Spanish rice, sauteed vegetables, guacamole, almond cream, salsa, and chili I don't know how to say that, arboil or something, sauce. Forgive me, I don't know how to say that. And they said that it was a gluten-free options available with that too, which I'm sure he did not have. But anyway, he really liked it. He's not vegan. He's the only one in the family that's not vegan. But he really liked it. He really loved it. He enjoyed it very much. So that was Caravan of Dreams. Now, we also had dinner this was just David and I. We had dinner at Bodai, I guess, Bodai. And that's in Chinatown. I was so happy to see that in Chinatown there was 2 vegan Chinese food restaurants. So I think it was 2, and we chose this one. And it says Kosher Vegetarian Restaurant. So we both had wonton soup for $2.95. It was really good. It didn't look the same. It was clear. Like normally, it's not clear.
Yeah.
This was clear. I mean, like white.
Water clear.
Yeah, water clear. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. But it was really, really good. So yeah, it was terrific. And I had my usual General Tao. We tend to have usuals, right?
Yeah.
But I always have it mild because I'm not a spicy person. Well, I'm a spicy person. I just don't like my food spicy. And of course they offered it steamed or fried. I should have had steamed because I'm a very healthy person, but I didn't. I had fried because that's the way I like it. It was $14.95. It was very, very good. I really loved it.
Is it a shared dish or is it like?
Well, we always share. My husband.
Was it
share,
like?
But no, it wasn't. It was a plate.
It was a small plate.
Well, it wasn't. It was a regular plate.
Okay.
It wasn't small.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, sometimes you order
no.
stuff and you're like, oh my god, that's like for 4 people.
No, it was an individual serving.
It was, okay.
But it was,
A lot.
it was enough. It was enough. It was really good. My husband had mixed vegetable meats. I could not even order that because of the word meat, but that's me. Mixed vegetable meat with basil and in a taro bowl. Now, we both love taro anything, but he did not like it.
The bowl?
The dish, the whole dish.
The whole dish.
He didn't even finish it. So I felt
wow.
kind of bad. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't like it. If you want to try it, try it. It's just, that's just individual taste. It has nothing to do with being a good dish or not. He just didn't like it.
And when they say mixed, it's mixed vegetables and meat. So
right.
Was it like what they would call?
Well, this is a totally vegan restaurant. So, it's not, it's seitan or soy or whatever it was.
Yeah, but there's different versions. Was it a dark?
So they had, let me think about this now. I'm trying to remember the dish. It was like a chicken thing. They had like a fish thing, which really grossed me out because it was just, forgive me, you might love it. So everybody's different and on a different path and a different level of the journey. But I just cannot take. I cannot taste anything that tastes like meat, or has the texture. I just can't handle it.
Of animal meat.
Of animal meat.
Yeah.
Not.
Because the word meat, word meat comes from food. They used to call everything meat.
Everything meat.
Everything meat. So they're like dairy milk and plant-based milk. There's animal
milk,
meat.
But it's,
and
right. Yeah, animal meat. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's animal meat. And the fish, I don't know what kind of fish it was supposed to be, but the texture, oh my God, it was so much like what I remember being. I just couldn't, I spit it out of my mouth. So really, maybe the taste was really good. The taro bowl was delicious, but it was very fried and all that. But we're not used to. First of all, we don't like anything, both of my husband and I, that tastes like meat. We just can't handle it. And my husband really cannot tolerate fake, like seitan stuff and all that. He just doesn't. It drives him crazy. I don't know. He just doesn't like it. So again, I mean, I have a feeling that I'm sure a lot of people would love this. It's not like they did something bad at the restaurant. I mean, the other food was great, but it was just our taste buds and who we are that we just didn't like.
I mean, I feel the same way. The vegan shrimp is actually formed to look like shrimp, and it's painted the pink stripes on it. So you can't tell the difference. It's crazy too realistic. But I understand that. Yeah, we get the Gardein fish sticks.
It was pretty though.
Once in a while, and my mind's like flipping out, going, I shouldn't be eating this. So I understand that.
Yeah. So anyway, but I would suggest going there. I mean, it was a really great place. But that's what I have, and I'll be going to St. Louis Friday, so early morning. So I'll have more to tell you the next time we see you.
Yeah, and you can follow me around at greatcat.com events, and you can see where I'll be next. So check those out, and if you want to say hi, and please, I would like someone to say they came up and actually watched this would be nice. So please come and say what you thought.
Yeah.
So now we'll do the news.
Yes.
Do you want me to start or?
Sure.
Okay.
Since you asked.
I have a pile of stuff here. So we have a new vegan celebrity that Kylie Jenner says she's trying this whole vegan thing out. Mm-hmm. She posted this to Snapchat, which kind of disappointed. I was hoping she would do it on Instagram because she has 97 million followers. So,
well, maybe you could. Can you contact her through that and just say, "Can you please?"
Yeah,
you could do it.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it is. So
The worst thing is no.
Yeah. She posted pictures of her vegan tacos, and she also had a vegan raw soy free, dairy-free, grain-free nachos, which I'm not really sure. Well, I guess you have corn chips, right? And you don't use cheese, so it's just vegetables and beans and stuff. And then she posted a picture of vegan pizza. But, this is someone that's speaking to a lot of young people, a lot of people. So just putting that idea out there that the V word's not scary and that someone you follow and look up to is trying, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Then So Delicious is coming out with dairy-free cheeses. So this is kind of exciting. We'll get another big company putting out cheeses that you can use on pizza or sandwiches or what. Well, they already make. No, they don't make slices. They just they're doing the cheese shred. So if you're making tacos or pizza, you can put those on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
the shredded one.
Yeah, the shredded stuff. So that's good. And I mean, if it takes off, maybe they will make slices or something else.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that's. I hate saying this. I hate admitting to these things. But I remember loving cheese in my prior life.
Yeah, and we'll talk about why you love cheese in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah.
That's why. But yeah, okay, good. I'm curious what you're going to say. But I would like for them to make vegan, even though we really very rarely have processed foods, it would be nice to have just like a vegan, cheese and cracker platter or something. You know how where you could slice it and put it on a cracker.
They do. Daya has their.
How come I never see it anywhere?
I don't know if they carry it at Giant. They carry it at Wegmans, but there's Miyoko's. I just had that vegan, the three Girls Vegan Creamery. It's a.
Can you maybe the next time we have the show, you could maybe show us an assortment?
Yeah.
Okay,
Great. There's a lot of
we'll
great
see
cheeses now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, so there's this other article: Can veganism work without capitalism? Should we boycott non-vegan parent companies? And this is because Daya just got bought out by international healthcare company for $300 million. So. A lot of vegans want to support vegan companies before they support other non-vegan companies, like, Ben & Jerry's has a vegan ice cream now.
But they're not a vegan company.
Yeah,
I'm that way.
A lot of, but the problem is a lot of these vegan companies are either having money invested in them from non-vegan companies, or they're just being plain bought out by non-vegan companies. So your choices are, I'm pretty sure So Delicious is owned by one of the dairy companies.
Oh.
So, but that has allowed them to expand into more markets. So I don't know.
That's true.
So a lot of people are, for hardcore vegans, maybe they don't want to and want to support some of the other groups. But
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so
it's such a, there's so many ways of thinking about things, and it's not like anybody is wrong. You're all right in how your viewpoint is, but it's just so difficult, I find anyway, and I find it so frustrating as a vegan to make these decisions, because you want to do the right thing. Vegans want to do the right thing, but what's the right thing? There's so many different ways of viewing something.
And companies are only going to change if they see money in it. So
right.
That's
true.
Companies like Ben & Jerry's, they started out with 2 flavors and now they're up to 4, and now they're making a vegan sorbets, and so they're seeing money flow into that, and that's going to change the company, and so eventually they'll have to get rid of dairy, because dairy will become so expensive that they won't be able to use it anymore.
Well, remember that we said this news a while back at the beginning of our show, that I forgot what dairy company it is, of course, but they went total vegan. Yeah, they were
sold off the cows, and now they're coming out with the dairy-free milk. So, so I think this is really a way to change how business is done. And the problem is this Japanese company does do animal testing, but as we've learned is sometimes they don't have a choice to do animal testing. If they are in China, if they go into China, the government makes them do animal testing. So if they don't want to be in that market, then they can't do it. And I don't know what the laws in Japan are. Maybe they have some of the same laws, but so that's.
So what is it about Daya now? What's going on? Because I've been hearing a lot of hype on Facebook about it, but I really don't understand what's going on.
Well, they're being bought out by pharmaceutical company called Otsuka.
So is that because they weren't doing well? I can't imagine that. Every vegan I know gets Daya cheese.
Yeah, no, and when I saw them in LA this year, they had a ton of new products coming out. I think they get to a point that, this guy started it. It's a private company that someone says, I'm going to write you a $300 million check, and you never have to work again, or and we're gonna write you a $300 million check and make you a ton more money as we expand into Canada and all over. So
how is it going to change?
I
heard the
don't
ingredients are changing. That's what I heard.
Oh, the ingredients.
And that's what some vegans are really upset about it.
Oh, I don't know about it. I don't think it said it in the article.
No.
So I think the biggest thing is that they do animal testing, it seems like.
Okay.
So next is Humane.
Wow, you have a lot of news. I only
I
have one.
do. Yeah,
I have one.
I do. There's a lot of stuff going on, and
Well, that's great. Go ahead.
this one was important because this is in the UK, and it says humane milk is a myth. Veganism advert cleared by standards body, and what happened is, of course, the dairy industry says it's misleading, which it's not, but they always have to say that. They said it was misleading because the dairy industry complained that it was inaccurate and misleading. And some of the statements were, I went vegan the day I visited a dairy. This mother, still bloody from birth, searched and called frantically for their babies, which is true. And in the UK, the babies have to stay with the mother from 12 to 24 hours, and then they're taken away, which...
Same thing.
Yeah, so, I mean...
They still cry out.
Yeah, and they...
And try to get them.
Yeah, so...
As they are literally, I mean, I don't know if anybody has seen these videos, but they literally just grab a leg of a newborn calf and they just drag it. They just drag it away, and the mother cow is just freaking out for a cow, crying, trying to get it back. It's really horrible.
So the ad claims that dairy farms did not comply with animal welfare standards, and of course, as we know, I mean, at least in the U.S., the animal standards are non-existent. It's so vague that whatever is standard practice is what the law is for animal abuse. So if this is standard practice to take an animal away at 12 to 24 hours, there's no law against it. There's no law. If standard practice is to not use painkillers or whatever, that's what the law is. That's not animal abuse. That's standard practice. So they get away with a lot of stuff. And of course, they come back and say, we use standard practice. Well, that doesn't mean it's humane in any way.
You know, I bring this up a lot, but this is the way I see it. You know, I know people who say to me, well, they're not breaking the law. And you're right, they're not breaking the law. But if we don't fight back,
the law will never get changed.
You know, just because you're not breaking the law doesn't mean it's ethical or moral. Again, you know, a couple hundred years ago when people had slaves, no, it was not against the law. But was it right?
Yeah.
It wasn't right. You know, the Holocaust, was it against the law? No. Was it right? No. I mean, you have to fight these things. To say, well, it's not against the law is a cop-out.
It's a total cop-out,
It's ridiculous. It's wrong. Murder, torture, rape, wrong. For everybody. Not just, you know, for women, and not just for men, and not just for people, and not, you know, it's for everybody. It's wrong. It's just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so
yeah.
They obviously didn't have anything to stand on because the advertising board approved the ad, so...
All right.
The next one is a vegan diet helps them win, but are sports stars committed to the cause. Now, the article starts off with the Forest Green Rovers in the UK. The owner's vegan. If you go to the stadium, all the food in the
owner of...
It's a soccer team,
Okay.
Forest Green Rovers in the UK. And so his whole stadium's vegan. Only vegan food is served to the players while they're playing in season. And
Wow.
this is a team that is now going to their first cup. So, first championship. So this is proof that on a vegan diet that you can excel.
Is this in America?
This is in Britain.
In England.
Yeah, this is in England. So the players might be eating a vegan diet because they're forced to, but they're really plant-based.
Yeah. They're doing it for health.
They're doing it for health.
Yeah,
and
they're not vegan. They're eating a vegan diet. They're on a place. Yeah, they're plant-based.
They're plant-based, and even some of them are not. You know, once they done with the season, they go back to eating the way they want. So,
well, they saved a few animals.
Well, they saved it. You know, and some of the players have noticed such a health benefit and that they've stayed on that plant-based diet. And
good.
So they kind of talk about some of the other athletes that have gone through this, and you know, Venus Williams is a plant-based diet, and she says she's a Chegan, that once in a while she'll have meat or whatever. But
did she call it a Chegan?
Yeah, they call it a Chegan when you're plant-based, and then once in a while you'll go have a meat dish or cheese or something. Yeah, I know. So we've
Really?
so this article just talks about how athletes are finally starting to catch on that a vegan diet can help your performance.
And all of the news that he's talking about, and what I'll be talking about, is such a great segue into our topic, which is reviewing What the Health movie. So it's really great.
Yeah. This is all working right up to it. So, when you openly mock veganism, you support animal abuse, which I always thought was true. Is like when we see these articles about people making fun of being vegan and, you know, being supportive of animals, it's like, well, you are on the opposite side and you're saying that this is okay. So this article is just talking about that kind of stuff.
And you know, I think this is a good moment to talk about this. I've been looking for rugs, and of course they have to be vegan. They can't be wool, they can't be silk, right? So my husband and I went out to a certain place yesterday. And the gentleman who was helping us was vegetarian, which he told me after my little talk with him. Because, you know, I said, well, it can't be wool, it can't be silk. And he goes, well, why? And I explained it to him. But, you know, just like surface stuff, just, well, you know, I'm vegan. And so he says, but it's just a sheep. Oh my goodness.
Did you unleash on him?
Oh my goodness. My eyes must have popped out. You know, really. I mean, I probably look like some insect with big eyes. And I said, did you just say just a sheep? And he goes, well, it's just a sheep. And I said, just a sheep? I mean, I was getting so upset. And I was ready to spew out some more stuff. And he goes, well, what I mean is, he said, they just shave it. It's not, they're not hurting it. They just shave it. I'm like, well, you need to do your research, because, you know, I'm not saying there are not some small farms where that's true, but no, they just don't shave them, you know. And I explained more. I got my phone out and showed him articles. I didn't want to show him a video. I really would love to, but anyway, I got him thinking about it. And then he goes, oh, well, I'm a vegetarian. And he was trying to come back and not lose the sale. Probably. But it's just the way people, they don't know and they don't get it.
No, I mean, I understand, because I didn't realize for a long time that sheep only produce wool for a couple years. It's not that long. Yeah. They're just. So
what do they do with them afterwards?
Yeah, they ship them off and
they kill them.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
it's
no
ridiculous.
value at that point.
And I told him that too. I said, what happens when they don't need them anymore? They kill them. Plus the fact, even if they do treat them well, I mean, just as a vegan, we don't want to use.
There's no reason to use
for
it.
us.
Yeah, there's no reason.
They should be living their life. Just leave them alone.
It's a ridiculous standard that people put on that wool and silk are high quality materials that last a long time. There's no.
Well, you know what, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, so great. They last a long time. Is that more important than being kind?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I just. I don't care if it long. He was telling me, he goes, well, wool and lasts a long time, and I'm like, and how is this saving the animals? Anyway.
Yeah, so this has a line that says, the thing is, when you laugh at vegans and their efforts, you are doing the dirty work of animal agriculture lobby. Yep. You make it easier for these words to get, for the selling of the grass-fed and humanely slaughtered words to these marketing campaigns that are in no way true. So, yeah, it's pretty discerning. Yeah, workers were filmed putting out cigarettes on the animals, stamping on them, slapping them, slicing their throats while they were still conscious, throwing them by the ears. Some slaughtered animals show signs of sexual abuse. And these people are abused too when you think of the job that they're being asked to do. And we'll talk...
But do you have to accept those jobs? I mean, I know that people need money. I get that. But you know how there's so many
I think
ways. I mean, I think that
it
maybe
depends.
You just have to be
we're lucky that we live between two giant metros and we live in a wealthy area. But if you go to the middle, you go to some areas and that's the only thing there. And we'll kind of talk about that about the movie review too, about where some of these jobs are actually placed, that might be your only choice for a job. So, but yeah, I mean, I would move. Well,
of course that's easy for you to say.
Yeah, that's easy to say. So.
I know. I just cannot imagine.
Yeah, so that's all my news.
Okay.
And it actually goes with our topic.
It really does, and so does mine. A very large egg company called Maine, like the state, Foods, released its earnings report for 2017, and yay, vegans, for the first time in over 1 decade, the company reported a loss of $74.3 million for the last fiscal year. The profits had plummeted $24.5 million in its fourth quarter alone. And let me see, I don't want to have to read everything, but the CEO Baker, Adolphus Baker, attributed the dramatic decline to the growth of the egg alternative industry, which includes vegan-friendly items such as flax and tofu and tempeh and prepared products that contain potato starch and tapioca, and it goes on, but it's not just going out and buying eggs. It's also the egg substitutes and all the companies that, food companies that have to buy eggs for their ingredients are turning to vegan alternatives. So it's killing them. So it's just I'm so happy. It makes me so happy to hear that. And it says, and even schools, it says here, in schools and hospitals are turning to more vegan alternatives. So it's really killing them. So let's see what happens, what they're going to do. I am excited to see what happens. Also, just to throw this in real quick, Tesla, the car, the environmental friendly car, is now totally vegan. They are taking out and not going to be using any more vegan, leather seating. So, I just thought about, I'm sorry, I know you just saw me get lost there a little bit, because I'm thinking remove leather seating, but like the fabrics that they use, I wonder if there's wool or silk in them. I was just thinking about that but anyway, but the leather is gone. And they're using synthetic leather instead. And, they're doing this for environmental reasons. They're into that, which is fantastic. It's not for animal reasons, but it still affects the animals greatly in a positive way. So I am so thrilled.
Yeah, and also in the video it showed that other high-end companies are getting rid of leather in their cars. Mm-hmm. So that's a giant step too.
Huge.
That's, I know
Now the
Toyo.
furnitures have to jump in.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and the thing is when demand goes down, prices go up because there's less.
Right.
So then it becomes a cost thing that why would I pay
For that.
for high-end for leather and when I can get the same price and charge less, so I'll sell more cars or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, that's all good news.
Yeah, it's really great news. So now for the topic, what the health?
And right now we'll show you a preview of the movie.
The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths.
We have an epidemic cascade of debilitating disease that's overcoming the country.
18% of children are morbidly obese right now. We're on par to have 1 in 3 people be diabetic in the next 25 years. That's crazy statistics.
Have this very dangerous situation.
Large amounts of these substances have unquestionably been associated with clogged arteries, high blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune diseases. Absolutely, the science is solid.
We're talking life and death.
Health organizations have become co-opted. They are taking money from the very industries who are causing the problems.
There's a very strong pharmaceutical industry and lobby that has a huge stake in preserving the status quo.
We've got a $35 billion statin drug industry. Would they ever want to see that go away?
The government's in bed with anyone that gives them the most money.
These are government programs.
Consumers have no idea.
We consider it normal that a town the size of the town I grew up in gets wiped out every year. If that many people were being killed by some terrorist group in the United States every year, we would find them.
From a community standpoint, from all other aspects, we're in a state of emergency.
They care more about cooperation than do people.
They spend at least $138 million lobbying Congress.
These companies really have a vested interest in making sure that the public doesn't have information about their effects.
Any little thing that comes up, man, they beat it to death.
They're trying to silence people into not speaking out and not showing the truth.
If that's where you want to go with this, I'm sorry, I'm not the person that you should be talking to.
The European Association of Diabetes.
And so, do you want to start what you thought about it?
Well, okay, I saw it a while ago and I haven't had the chance to see it again. It was really well done, I thought. It was really well done. He was having a lot of interviews with, he gets right into it. Like as soon as it starts, there he is interviewing the first one. And the filmmaker is Kip Anderson. He's the star of the film. He's the one that's doing the interviewing and so forth. And the first scene, he's interviewing with Dr. Robert Ratner from the American Diabetes Association. The doctor said, in quotes, worldwide, we're looking at 350 million individuals with diabetes. There's no question that we're in the midst of a diabetes epidemic. And I mean, think about everybody that you know. I mean, my brother is diabetic. I have friends that are diabetics. My aunt, she passed away when I was 7, but she was, diabetic. Actually, no, not her. The other one was. Sorry. But anyway, there's so many people that have diabetes. It's really hard to...
Yeah, the number was actually pretty gigantic.
It's huge. It's huge. But anyway, so then the filmmaker Kip asked him about diet and diabetes. And he said, I'm not going to get into it. And that was it. Just went to another interview. And throughout without going into every little segment, and everybody that he spoke with, and he spoke with a lot of different people, different doctors, different types of doctors, different medical environments. And once they get into that, don't want to talk about it. Now, the thing about diabetes, and one thing about the movie is they're always talking about how a vegan diet will reverse, can reverse diabetes too. But they don't say diabetes 2, they just say diabetes. And from my understanding, diabetes 1 is a whole other animal. And it would not reverse diabetes 1. But diabetes 2, yes. And of course you have to be a healthy vegan, not just eating crap all day. But yes, and the thing here is that for some odd reason, the diabetic industry is continually pushing that you can't have sweets, and has nothing to do with it. It's about the fat.
Yeah. I was shocked by that too.
You know, I went, after I saw the movie and before I came here, I went on the ADA.org, and their mission statement is to prevent and cure diabetes and improve the lives of all people affected with diabetes. And I'm thinking, what a load of crap. This is just business, because they're pushing drugs, they're not pushing the right diet. They're against fat, but if you look at their menu on their line, which the movie talks about, it's all, cows and chickens and fish, and this is, it's killing them. So it's sort of like, it reminds me of dentists. Years ago, they used to have candy. Oh, take some candy before you leave.
Take a lollipop when
you know, it's like, what are you, promoting more business? It's ridiculous. So it's, these organizations are around making money and not really around health.
Yeah, and in one of I have a list of facts here, and one of them that was kind of shocking, that 1 out of every $3 spent in Medicaid is spent on diabetes. So 30% of the budget could be wiped out if we changed our diet. And then $1 in $10 in healthcare is spent on diabetes. So these are some giant amount of money that that could be saved. Just especially now in the U.S., we're talking about healthcare. It's such a big topic right now that, I mean, can you imagine? It's like, look, if you just start promoting this, eating these foods, you could save 30%. I mean, that would bring down healthcare costs right there. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of it's amazing, but we see the circular pattern that, okay, if you eat these foods, if you eat meat and dairy, the meat and dairy now gives that money to lobby the government. And then that money goes to, the money's dispersed. So you pay for the meat, and then it's dispersed. It goes for lobbying to the government. It goes for, it goes.
I don't have cooties. You could drink from my water.
So it goes to lobby the government. It goes to donations to these companies. And then the pharmaceutical is now benefiting too. So it's just of course no one has motivation to fix it, because if you just change your diet, there's no more lobbying, there's no more pharmaceuticals, and there's no more money going to the hospitals and doctors. So of course and it's not going to these organizations that already know the cure for it. You already know the cure for it, and you're not doing it.
Yeah, here. What was the mission statement? To prevent and cure diabetes. I think it's more to prevent health and to prolong diabetes.
Oh yeah, that's just a good marketing statement.
It's a marketing statement. It's not a mission statement.
Yeah. So some of the other facts that I looked at.
Is this just regarding diabetes? Because he also meets with American Cancer Society.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going in the order that they were in the movie. So he says that 50 grams portions of processed meat eaten daily increases the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Yeah. So that's just having salami or cold cuts or hot dog, any of those things. And processed meat is a group 1 carcinogen, the same as smoking, asbestos, and plutonium. So I'm not planning on... We've known for a while that smoking's definitely bad for you, but equal to asbestos or plutonium. I can't imagine a plutonium hot dog going over too well, but they're saying it's equal to that.
Yeah.
And
and over here it says, I'm sorry, but a WebMD doctor said that, the World Health Organization announced that according to over 800 studies, they determined processed meats cause cancer. They're a group 1 carcinogen equal to cigarettes.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also goes to the American Cancer Society, and under their Eat Healthy page, turkey and canned meats are on their switch to diet. So they're, and he says this throughout the movie. It's like, well, can you imagine going to the American Lung Cancer Society and be like, hey, smoke up, Johnny, just have a cigarette. It's like, well, that's what these companies are telling people to do, is pretty much they're telling them to do the exact thing that they're not supposed to be doing. In the U.S., 1 out of 4 deaths are from cancer, and 2/3 of adults are obese.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a lot of things going on. And then over the next 25 years, 1 out of 3 Americans will have diabetes. Diabetes takes 19 years off your life. 1 serving of processed meat increases chance of diabetes by 51%. 1 serving a day.
Okay.
17 million people die from cardiac disease, it's the leading killer around the world. 1 out of 33 people. This is equivalent to 4 jumbo jets crashing every hour. Can you imagine, like, if 4 jets went down, like 48 jets crashed today, no one would be flying.
Yeah, there was something here. Let me see. I hope I could find it. All right, so that's what you said. But also it was said something, it was about, I can't find it and I don't want to take that time.
Okay.
But it was saying something about that it was equal to, something was equal to the Twin Towers going down.
Yeah.
And all the deaths.
Yeah.
And if that was, so it's much more than a terrorist attack. But yet if a terrorist did this, we would be all in arms and we have to do something about it.
We'd spend billions of dollars to fight it.
But health, no.
No. Men who eat...
We could do it to ourselves. We can kill ourselves, but we can.
Men who eat chicken had a 4 times increased risk of reoccurrence or progression in prostate cancer.
So now I wonder, does that mean women too?
Do women have prostates?
Oh, prostate.
No, I'll get to the breast cancer part, which was pretty much...
I'm sorry, I thought you were saying something else. That's funny.
3.5 ounces of beef has 89 milligrams of cholesterol compared to 85 milligrams in chicken. So, we always hear red meat's really high in cholesterol, so switch to chicken or turkey, and there's no difference.
There's no difference.
He also says eating 1 egg a day is equal to 5 cigarettes. So I don't...
And so now I think of my mom who died of lung cancer, died of smoking for 60 years, and she had eggs every single morning.
So she was doubling up on smoking and eating eggs.
She loved her eggs, and now I know why. It was another cigarette.
Another 5 cigarettes.
Yeah.
And
another 5 cigarettes. And if you have 2, that's
20. I remember seeing these studies that promote stuff, and then like a study will come out and it'll say don't eat this, and then right after it another study comes out and say that. And what he compares it to is the same thing the cigarette companies were doing, that 1 in 5 doctors smoke, and so the meat industry uses that same strategy, that they don't want to inform you, they just want to confuse you so that you don't know what to do. They want to paralyze you to just keep doing the same thing.
They want to make you stupid.
Yeah. 93% of dioxin exposure comes from animal products. So you're actually consuming these poisons. And then he goes into lactose intolerant, which makes sense. It makes sense that once you become out of the infant stage, that your body doesn't want you to go back to suckling milk. Like you should be able to eat food at a certain point. So the body has said, if you drink this, you'll get sick. So what he says is 73% of African Americans are lactose intolerant, 95% of Asians, 70% of Native Americans, and 50% of Hispanics. So these people are consuming these things, they're making them sick, but they're so used to being sick that they still consume them.
Yeah.
And milk can have 750,000 pus cells per cc. Like, that's the legal limit of pus you can drink in your milk, which is like, I can't even believe I consume this stuff anymore.
And blood.
Yeah,
they're allowed a certain amount of blood and
insects and rat hairs and
all that.
Yeah,
but blood and pus, which is from the metal being on the teat and causing infections and rashes and just damage. So and the thing here is what a lot of people don't realize is that the strawberry milk, years ago, they didn't serve ready-made strawberry milk and chocolate milk in those containers. They just didn't make them. But now they do, because they are using the milk that is unusable, because it is so discolored, because there is so much blood and pus in it. And that's what they're using. That is what you're drinking if you're having the store-bought, ready-made strawberry and chocolate milk. Yeah, so think about that, please. And cheese is more condensed.
Yeah,
so
I have that in here too.
Okay.
That's coming up here too.
So that cheese is
so
disgusting.
5 to 10% of cancer is genetic. So we've been taught that it's not diet, it's genetic, and it's really the opposite.
Well, when anybody and my sister's a nurse, and she was such a great nurse. But, the medical industry they just wear blinders and just so many people, just everything is it's genetic. It's like another cop-out.
Yeah.
Well, is it genetic, or is it just that we are taught to eat a certain way and we continue to do so?
Right.
So we just keep on hurting ourselves. So, I'm sure there are some things that are definitely genetic, but you can't chalk everything up to that. You just can't. It's ridiculous.
Well, even in the movie, they talk about how they wanted to pass that doctors should take 7 hours every 4 years for dietary, and doctors, the heads of the medical companies, came out and said, we're too busy. We don't have 7 hours every 4 years to learn about diet. I'm like, are you kidding me?
They want money. They don't want you to be healthy.
Oh no, of course, because they get kickbacks.
And we're talking about the industry, please. We do know that there are certain doctors that really care. I'm just talking about the industry, not individual doctors.
Oh yeah, because they get all of their conferences paid for by the medical industry. They get free products. They get kickbacks for selling this stuff. So of course, but still, it just amazes me that people are buying this. It's like, you don't have 7 hours over 4 years to learn something.
I have a number of friends that are medical doctors, cardiologists, primary care physicians, gynecologists. I have a number of friends that, what is that?
Oh, it's the dishwasher.
Oh, okay. And they have all told me in all the years that they study, and they study for quite a bit of years, they read one book this size, I don't know if you could see, this little tiny size right here, of nutrition. That's it. That's all they know. They don't know anything.
So,
it's really sad. It's really sad.
So dairy increases prostate cancer in men by 34% and breast cancer death in 49% in women. And all causes by 64%. All cancers by 64%.
Mm.
So those are some big numbers that.
Yeah.
And the reason cheese and milk is so addictive is because of casein. And what happens is the body changes the casein into like a morphine, so you calm down, which makes sense, is that you want the baby to come to the mother and find something that calms them down, that that feeds them, that so genetically this makes sense that we've come to that kind of system that this is why it's supposed to be, because if they got sick or they got upset, that they would reject it.
Mm-hmm.
So human milk contains 2.7 grams of casein, where cow's milk has 26 grams of casein. So it's 10 times as much casein. It's definitely putting down morphine. So that's why everybody has problems eating cheese, is because now you're even taking the casein from milk and you're condensing it into a smaller piece. So they didn't even talk about how much casein's in a piece of cheese.
And casein is a dairy derivative.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to let.
It's a sugar, and
I know here, Dr. Michael Greger, who's also a best-selling author, said most kids by age 10 have fatty streaks in their arteries. That's pretty sad. The first sign of atherosclerosis, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, leading to heart disease. And if a kid gets diabetes, you have taken 19 years off their lives.
19 years.
So basically, we're killing our kids.
Yeah. And we've seen that schools are forced to have milk with their lunches. It's not even a choice. They have to have milk with their lunch.
So they can throw it out.
Well, the kids can throw it out, but they're not going to throw it out because no one's telling them that it's bad for them.
Well, I mean, kids have all these, health classes and all this stuff, and then they have vending machines with crap in it, and because my husband was a music teacher, he's now retired, yay. I used to go to all the different concerts and shows and everything that they had, and there was always people in the lobby selling pretzels and candy, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's how they do fundraisers.
So, it's so hypocritical, and they don't know what they're doing.
So 450 drugs are given to animals. 80% of antibiotics are used in animal agriculture. And then he goes into, then he starts to talk about animal welfare. And so in North Carolina alone, there's 10 million pigs, which is equal to the same population of people. And so 10 million pigs equals 100 million pounds of feces, which is pretty much equal to how much people make on the East Coast flowing into one state. It's so gross. And then he talks about how the dairy industry spends $50 million in schools, so they're promoting then. The meat and dairy industry spends $557 million on promotion, $138 million for lobbyists, and they've passed laws, and one of them being called the cheeseburger law. And this is after learning how the cigarette industry got sued by all the states, that people could, if they smoke, they could come back and get money from the cigarettes. So they've passed these cheeseburger laws that now if you get diabetes or you get fat from eating unhealthy foods, these laws protect the food industry from these kinds of lawsuits. So you can't legally go back to them and say, eating your product is making me sick. And the reason they do this is because $5 billion is spent in the stent industry, and $35 billion is spent in the statin drug industry. So that's $40 billion just for these two products. We spend $1.5 trillion to fight diabetes, heart disease, cancer. If this was a country, it would be the number 10 economy in the world, richest economy in the world. The pharmacy industry spends $238 million on lobbying, and then he goes into what you're actually consuming, and he says 88% of pork chops contain fecal matter, 90% of ground meat, and 95% of chickens. And then he also talks to a doctor, and what I found interesting is we're always told you have to eat meat because of the protein, but animals don't actually create protein. Plants create protein. Only plants. And so you might as well skip the second step and just eat the plants. It's
the only reason why animals have it is because they ate vegetables,
plants,
and fruit and whatever, plants. That's it. That's the only reason why they have it. So basically, you're getting processed protein. You're not even getting real protein.
Yeah. And so if you just ate brown rice and broccoli, 2,000 calories of brown rice and broccoli, you would get 80 grams of protein. And you only need 50 grams. Most people only need 50 grams, so that would weigh out, you would have more than enough. And he also says that Americans eat twice the amount of protein they need and get less than half their fiber. So they're, when people say, where do you get your protein? That's why vegans respond with, where do you get your fiber from? Because your protein's not really helping. And to prove we don't need a lot of protein, human breast milk has the lowest protein in any animal in the world. It showed a rat that had 9 grams of protein. And even our closest ancestors, like gorillas, were only like 1.5. So obviously...
The food industry tells you that you have to have this huge amount of protein every day, but it's only because they want you to buy meat and dairy. That's all. Yeah, it's all marketing. And he even talks about that in the milk industry, about how countries that consume the most milk actually have the highest rates of osteoporosis. Yeah. So they've been saying that for a number of years now.
Yeah. And eliminating heart disease would save the world $48 trillion.
Say that again.
Eliminating heart disease would save $48 trillion.
It's a lot of moolah.
That's a lot of money. So these are some of the facts of the movie. I also have this other article by a dietitian that says, repeated blunders and bad science make what the health impossible to recommend. So I'll post this article too about how she talks about, and this is a vegan dietitian. This isn't one of the regular dietitians that usually tries to break this stuff up?
Well, so in conclusion, it's a very telling, straightforward, informative, mind-boggling documentary. I suggest greatly that you watch it. I know that we gave you a lot of information. He has all these facts that he just shared with you, but it really is a movie that you need to see, I think, and really take it all in and listen, please. This is your life, you know. I tell this to people all the time. This is your body, and you only have one. You don't get a replacement.
Yeah.
This is it. You destroy it, it's gone.
I think this is a good film for someone that's either not vegan or
This is Linus.
or someone on the cusp of thinking about going vegan or vegetarian. I think this just kind of, I understand her concerns in this article, but you know, you can't go into the details that I think he wanted to cover. And the biggest part of the movie is just that we are these organizations that are supposed to be fighting these diseases really have no motivation to actually do what they say. So I think that's the bigger point of the movie than all the things that he kind of steps up to it. But there is a lot of information in it.
You know, I just had a thought though. You know, it's about motivation for these companies, financial motivation. You see, you know, we're hearing more and more about the dairy companies changing over to vegan products because they're losing money right and left. So I'm wondering, and I haven't fully thought this out, so I don't know if it's a clever statement or not, but I'm wondering, the more they see these companies falling apart, will the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, start changing what they push because now maybe the vegan company is going to be sponsoring them? And that is something else in the movie that they said. The man, Kip, the filmmaker and star, was saying, you know, these companies, these medical organizations, the American Cancer Society, the American Diabetes Association, all of these are sponsored by the meat and dairy industry and McDonald's and all these horrible companies that produce such, I mean, forget about unhealthy. These products are going to kill you, and these are their sponsors. So of course they're going to be promoting things that, even though they are actually causing the problem. So I'm just wondering if maybe the more the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry sees the turnover into veganism, if that's
as money starts flowing in, maybe instead of using Dannon yogurt, maybe the Susan G. Komen Society will put pink ribbons on Daiya yogurt or one of the other companies that make, you know, So Delicious makes a yogurt. Maybe they'll start promoting those yogurts instead of Dannon.
Right.
So I think as the more money starts floating into these big companies, that maybe they will start to see.
I think they'll start changing over and get with the program.
Yeah, so that was kind of our review and what we got out of the movie. Please leave, you know, your comments on either Vegan Styled Life or on our website at veganstyledlife.com. And anything else?
No, we will see you in a couple of weeks. And thank you again for sharing your time with us. I hope that you enjoyed every moment. We enjoyed every moment doing it. Thank you so much. Have a great, great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.